Bueno, bienvenidos a todos a Tiempo Fuera. Hoy estamos con un invitado especial, Will Miles. Well, first of all, how are you?
Muy bien. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing well.
Well, we obviously you're currently not playing basketball, but you had a basketball NCAA experience with the Seminoles. How was that? I mean, there's every young basketball player's dream is to be able to play in the NCAA, and especially in my personal favorite team in the NCAA is the Seminoles, so I follow them. So uh, what's that experience like?
It's amazing. I kind of when I went into it coming out of high school, I had, you have like ideas of what it's like from what you see in movies or just on TV, but it was pretty unreal. Just mostly wasn't expecting to become that close to all the guys on the team, and those guys I'm still best friends with to today. So it was awesome. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Great. And going back to the beginning of your career, who or what introduced you to the world of basketball?
So this is kind of an interesting story. I'm kind of a rare case. My grandfather, my dad, and my uncle all played basketball at Florida State. So I'm like I don't know what it'd be, fourth generation basketball. So like I basically had a Florida State jersey and basketball in my hands in the crib. Um, so yeah, I always knew I wanted to play. I didn't know if I was good enough to play at FSU my whole life, but I always knew I wanted to.
Mm. And at what age you start playing?
Um, I would say, I mean, I feel like I always played a little bit when I was young, but the age I can remember, because I remember this because my mom was my first coach, and that was in, I want to say, first grade, second grade. Was when I started playing like on an actual team.
So really,
Really young.
young.
Yeah.
We've had some players that started like at 16 and 17 and now play pro, and it's like, damn.
Yeah, that's I have so much respect for those guys because it's like, how do you catch up to that 10-year gap of people playing their whole lives?
Absolutely. Well, and you're currently before you mentioned that you made some friendships that over there at FSU, and there are some notable players that you play with that now play in the NBA, like Terrence Mann, like Devin Vassell, like Scotty Barnes. How do you feel that being that, I don't know how to say this, but like having played amongst players at such a that play now at such a high level?
Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely cool. Especially like regular season NBA games, you have a lot more reason to watch when you know somebody on the team. But yeah, it's funny, like those guys, I remember in college, it's like there'd be occasions where like those guys be like, hey, can I get a ride, to this event or whatever. And now it's like now it's like, hey, I can give you a ride in one of my 10 cars, type of deal. So I'm really happy for them. They're kind of balling, but I do remember a story of this was a wake up call for me because I come from being like the tallest guy in my high school. And then my first day at FSU, we're playing pickup, and I look in the gym and I see Chris Kamaji, who's like 7'4", and I'm like, this should not even exist. Like, this is outrageous. And I do remember my biggest wake up call was I like get a pass during pickup. I'm like playing okay. I like, haven't scored yet, so I like get a pass. I'm on the right block. I go up to lay it up. Jonathan Isaac, who was also a freshman at the time, he's on the other side of the paint, like outside the paint. I go to lay it up, thinking, no way anybody's near me. He comes across, his arm stretches and just pins it against the backboard. I was like, yeah, I've got to change my game if I'm gonna be playing with these guys.
For us, it's like crazy because a year ago we started this podcast on like at the end of May, and a year ago I remember playing 2K and playing, especially that you mentioned Jonathan Isaac. I always have him on every team because he's a defensive beast there's no way that someone scores over him, and it's crazy now talking to someone that actually has
Experience.
has experienced it in real life.
Yeah, no, John's a great guy. I'm praying that he can get healthy and stay healthy this season because you see what Paulo Banchero's doing on the Magic, just tearing it up. I feel like if you add John in that piece, they could make a run.
They could have like a 7-foot team. They have
Yeah,
Wagner, Bol, Paulo Banchero,
yeah,
Obamba, Jonathan Isaac. That would be unstoppable.
yeah. I know, and I'm from Orlando, so I'm a huge Magic fan. Like I remember the Dwight Howard days. I was going to the finals and just being like 8th grade, going nuts, just like having the time of my life. But yeah, it's been a long time since then.
And growing up, do you idolize any player of the Magic team?
I mean, Dwight Howard was the man. But I remember when I like Jameer Nelson a lot. He was a good point guard. But I remember also when we got Vince Carter, that was like huge. Like I remember everyone freaking out when we got Vince Carter. He kind of was towards the end of his career though, so it wasn't as exciting. But just the news that we got him, I remember like everybody bought a Carter jersey right away.
Personally, I'm a Miami Heat fan, so there's some rivalry over there. Not this past couple of years, but there was.
Yeah. No, I know. If I wasn't from Orlando, if I was from anywhere else in Florida, I would 100% join the Heat bandwagon right now too. Because
Nice.
they're ridiculous this year.
Well, and also another question we also ask to a lot of players is if there a reason why they were the number while they were playing. In your case, number 33, if we're right.
Yeah. So that the reason for that was my dad's number when he played. So it was just kind of, and luckily nobody on the team had it when I came in. So they were just like, they kind of already knew. They like, I guess like someone knew who my dad was and what number he was. So they're like, hey, we have this jersey for you. So it was kind of cool that it kind of fell into my lap there.
Great.
And obviously, well, now you're currently not playing, but when you were playing, did you have like a pregame routine? We have talked to some players like that have like OCD things. Did you have something like that?
I didn't. I feel like if I ever did, it would last a game or two. But it's one of those things, though. I was talking to my friend about this recently. You get so like kind of messed up and having like you get that OCD. Like I've got to tie my shoes at this time. I've got to eat this meal at this time. And then if something goes off, it's like you kind of build up this thing where if you forget to do one thing, then you play horrible because then you put too much pressure on all the rituals. So I tried not to.
And also one thing that, well, personally we had to ask is why did you or did you not have on your mind to pursue a basketball career, or why is it that you stopped?
Yeah, well, I mean, so in my case, I was a walk-on. I kind of coming out of high school, I had the choice of, do I go to FSU, walk on? I probably won't play a ton, or do I go to a small school, play a lot? And a lot of my friends that went on from high school and played at a small school, they're taking the bus 8 hours to a game and staying at the Marriott Courtyard. And then I look at FSU and it's like you're taking a private jet to a game and staying at the Ritz-Carlton. I was like, I think I would rather just go to FSU and play with players much better than me, but enjoy the experience. So I don't think I had enough of a highlight tape to play overseas or anything, but that's something I was happy with though. I'm just glad I got to play in college.
If you want to, in Chile, we will be glad to watch you play sometime.
Okay. I'll look into it. Once I'm out of the Navy, maybe I'll come back for a year or two.
You can text us and we can make something happen over there. I don't know if they pay that well, but
it's about the experience.
Yeah,
it's not about the pay, it's the experience.
We can watch you play. That would be amazing.
That'll be fun.
Well, and now, well, we have 3 sections. That was the first one, and we have 2 others that are much shorter. The second one is one in which the previous player, in this case, is Filippos Gkogkos, that plays in the University of Miami. He's from Greece, He left a question for you, and hopefully, if you can leave a question for our next guest, that would be awesome. And the question that he left for you is, what piece of advice would you give to your 10-year-old self?
10-year-old self, I'd probably say that it's hard to see it, but kind of doing the right thing every day, having that discipline of getting up, working out, it really pays off. Because I remember being young, looking at players that, were like jumping out of the gym at 10 years old or 9, whatever. I can't remember what grade I was in at 10, but like I would always look at like the competition just in Orlando and then nationally, and I was like, these guys are so good. Like, how can I compete? But you saw dudes that were top 10 just start falling off, whether they got, academic trouble, legal trouble, just got lazy, let the hype get to them. So kind of the people that stick it out every day and practice every single day, it really does over a long-term horizon. It ends up evening out the playing field.
Yeah, right now, especially the part of discipline, the NBA right now is kind of a circus. Only yesterday, I think Miles Bridges pleaded guilty on assault to her girlfriend or something, and then Joshua Primo and the Spurs were filed a suit, and then Kyrie Irving was suspended that fine. It's kind of a circus now at the NBA.
Yeah, no, and it's unfortunate that that happens, but I also think a bright spot to it is if you're a guy in the G League or in college and you're thinking
Absolutely.
like, there's a limited number of spots, you just never know what's going to happen, what opportunities might come up.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you if you had a question for our next guest.
Yeah, I could think one. The question the last person asked me was really good. I feel like I want to go a little more funnier. I feel like I want to ask, like, what is the funniest in-game moment that players ever experienced? Funniest like something in the game that happened that they're just like, how does this even happen?
That's the first time we got that one, so
yeah, there's always something. Every player knows something that has gone just like, and even the fans might not catch it, but it's something that you're just like, what is going on?
Yeah, for sure. And well, going on to the last section, this is one of our personal favorite. It calls Flash Questions, and it has nothing related to basketball. And well, the quickest you can answer, the better.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, we go. Favorite movie?
Ooh, Forrest Gump.
Favorite TV show?
The Office.
Not including basketball. What sport do you watch or play the most?
Football.
Teammate you used to spend the most time with?
Justin Linder.
Favorite food?
Probably Chick-fil-A.
Favorite video game?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I haven't played since that came out.
Hot or cold?
Cold.
One dream left to accomplish?
What was that?
One dream left to accomplish?
Start my own business.
Favorite artist?
Drake.
And favorite basketball shoes?
Giannis's.
Yeah. The last ones, they say they are pretty good.
They're the best shoes ever. They're so good.
Yeah. Well, that's basically it. Will, thanks a lot for coming. We really appreciate it, and maybe next time we have you here, we also have interview. Jonathan Isaac.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. I gotta ask you guys though. I see the jerseys up in the back. Who's the GOAT, Jordan or LeBron?
Well, it's a bit controversial, but for me, it's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, for me too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going Jordan too.
Okay. I used to say Karim at one point, but
kind of toss up.
Yes, because I thought, Karim had as many titles as Michael Jordan. No, yes, he has 6, no?
Yeah, he's got 6.
and has I think 2 MVPs. He is the most. He's the one that scored the most points ever. Right now, that is about to back him, but whatever. He grabbed insane amount of rebounds. I think he was the GOAT, and he also introduced the world the hook shot. So I thought he was the GOAT, but then I watched the Last Dance and I changed my mind.
Yeah, no, I think that changed a lot of people's minds.
Well, Will, that's basically it. Thanks a lot for coming in, and we'll keep in touch to give you the status of the interview.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you guys for having me on. Love the podcast. Love what you guys are doing. Keep it up.
Thank you very
Definitely
much.
Stay in touch. All right, see you guys.
Good luck.